Hi guys, wow, there are some very rare moments in Parliament where you have an MP stand up and commend somebody from the other side of the House. This is exactly what happened when Tory MP Laura Farris extended her gratitude to Harriet Harman, the chair of the Privileges Committee. Harman was brought close to tears as she sat and listened to a question that was put to those who suggested that the chair had been on some sort of crusade to bring down Boris Johnson. Take it away, Laura.
The Mother of the House's appointment was not just the choice of the opposition whips. It was approved by the whips on our side. I remember the discussion about it. And I know that the Mother of the House drew attention to the tweet that she'd written to our whips. And again, it was approved. And ultimately, both of our memberships were approved by the whole House because it passed without division. I do want to say, on behalf of the Mother of the House, just to contextualise her appointment, the member for Camberwell and Peckham had already announced her intention to retire from Parliament at the next election, a parliamentary career that has spanned 5 decades and has been defined, probably more than any other person who's ever sat in this House, by her commitment to the advancement of women's rights. 14 weeks before she took up that appointment, her husband of 40 years, Jack, had died. Against this background, I invite members of the House to consider what is more likely, that she agreed to chair the committee as a final act of service to this House, or that she did so because she was interested in pursuing a personal vendetta against Boris Johnson.
Wonderful speech. And you can see Harriet Harman was close to tears there. She understood this MP understands what she was getting at, what she was doing. This was her last act of service to the House of Commons, and it was not against Boris Johnson. She had bigger things in her mind. But of course, Boris Johnson's sycophants and supporters continually pushed this narrative that Harriet Harman had it out for Boris Johnson, that the Select Committee just wanted to bring him down, wanted to punish him. They wanted to undo Brexit, and in order to undo Brexit, they had to get rid of the one who delivered Brexit, Boris Johnson. So it was a conspiracy against both Boris Johnson and Brexit. And it was disgusting. And the types of comments we saw before from the likes of Michael Fabricant, Jacob Rees-Mogg and others, Priti Patel in particular, was about undermining Parliament. This was their goal. It was to undermine Parliament, to put in the minds of the public that Parliament doesn't really work. And I have criticised Parliament, of course, when I say that the House of Commons doesn't really work. But the Privileges Committee was representative of Parliament. The chair was from the Labour Party, yes, but it was made up of a majority of Conservative MPs. It was to hold Boris Johnson to account. Now it's attempting to hold his sycophants to account, who attempted to undermine that committee and interfere with it. So I've been extremely cynical, and I'll admit that. I've been extremely cynical when it comes to Tory MPs. I've criticised them for a number of things, but I think it's important to call out when they do something right. And here Laura did a wonderful thing. She pointed out that Harriet Harman wanted to provide Parliament with something before she left. And it was, she was going through a very difficult period. She had just lost her husband. And she decided, I'm actually going to do something good for Parliament before I leave, for the public. This was for the public. It was not a personal vendetta against Boris Johnson. It's a stupid idea to suggest so. But even the people who are suggesting it know it's not the case. But it was just about protecting Boris Johnson. And what is Johnson doing now? He's writing in the the Daily Mail, back to pretty much his old job. And his sycophants are now trying to undo the comments that they've made. But unfortunately for them, it's all in the public domain. Well done, Laura. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.